Hello and welcome back, everyone. So today we'll be discussing two new ways to support your delphinium. In a previous video, I talked about using 3 canes and some string to help support your delphinium. Now, it's still the most common way. It still works. But what I've been doing is I've been experimenting using 2 canes and some wire with great success. And what I love about it is that the hoop's adjustable. So whether your delphinium is taller for the year or shorter, you can meet your delphinium support needs. I mean, we've been pelted with rain, heavy rain, the past couple of days. And if this isn't testament enough that they're still standing, I don't know what is. Now, there is one other way. In the past, I haven't had great success with it. And it's directly staking your flower spike to a cane. But after talking with someone from the UK that has had great success with it and is a delphinium enthusiast as well, I'm giving it a try again this year. Now, I won't be able to do it en masse because I have so many plants, but for you, the home gardener, it may work. So between the 3 canes, the 2 canes, 1 cane, you have more gardening tools in your gardening toolbox to help support and meet the needs of these wonderful plants. So these are the supports I use. They're fiberglass metal rods, 4 to 6 feet in length. You see there's little dimples on this rod. Now, those dimples aren't very aggressive, but they do support the wire nicely. And the non-aggressiveness of these dimples allows you to move the wire up and down the support rod as needed. It works out fantastic. Now for the wire, I use a wire that's coated. And with a coating, it's 12 gauge in thickness. I get this off Amazon. If you're looking or can't find it and it's uncoated, I would say this is probably a 16 gauge wire, because this is a 12 gauge wire. Now this 12 gauge wire, I don't recommend. I recommend something smaller, just for the fact that it's hard to twist if you don't have strong hands. And it's just a little bit of a pain to work with compared to this wire. You're also going to need something to cut it with. I use a pair of lineman's pliers. They work fantastic. Now, if you're looking at this support right here, see how I can move it up and down the support, yet it still holds. It may seem a little flimsy, but it's not. I think it, because the wire is so forgiving, it's almost like suspension in the car. So when a heavy delphinium spike leans on it, it moves a little bit and doesn't snap your flower spike, but yet it still gives it enough support to hold itself up. And how I form these little loops is I take my wire, just unravel it, start making a loop in my hands. Now my bottom loop is typically smaller than my top loop. I go ahead and unravel some wire, start making a loop. Now you're going to want a little bit extra, because guess what? We have to cross the wire, do our thing. Okay, that should be plenty. I'm going to go ahead and cut a little bit of excess, just to give me something to work with. Now next, to make sure it's even, the cut ends, I just align, and I run my hands down the wire. And look at that, it forms a natural little loop at the end. You're going to go ahead, put it along one support. And all you're going to do is cross it and twist it. You could tell if you twist a little bit too much, it'll be harder to move. But look at that. It holds itself up, still supports itself, but you can move it. The next step is just to make a little loop with your hands. You're going to cross them in front of the next stake. Get the size you want. As you see here that I'm kind of forming the loop so I have an idea of how big or small it's going to be. Like I said, I go a little bit bigger typically. That's good. Now I've X'd it in front of this stake. I'm just going to move it and give it a twist or two to keep it in place. Go back to the stake, cross it in the back, and just give it a few twists in the back, or as many as you want. I like to do a few because it gives something for my hands to get onto and help move the support up and down. And that is it. Now, like I said, this is like suspension in a car. So if the Delphinium spike gets wet, it leans. So your Delphinium spike just doesn't snap. It's not something rigid, but yet still helps support your Delphinium spike. Like I said, what I love about it is that it's adjustable. So you can get as high or as low as you want. The next thing I'm going to show you, it's already done, is directly staking to your flower spike. All right, everyone, you can see here I've staked the flower spike to the cane. Now this is a 5-foot cane. If I was to do it correctly, like he mentioned, I would need a 6-foot cane, which I don't have, because what you want to do is to run the cane all the way to the top of the flower spike, or just about. Because the way it is now, this flower spike could break right here. So I would need a longer cane. I just don't have it. And that's how he's successful. He runs the cane the full length of this flower spike. And what I've used are little twist ties here. You can use them for vegetables, tomatoes. You can find them damn near everywhere. So they're not hard to find. They're easy to cut, easy to twist, and they work well. So I'm going to get a few longer canes that really do this correctly and see how it works. But like I said, I have a lot of Delphiniums, so I can't totally do it for all my Delphiniums, unlike the home gardener. But if you want another tool in your toolbox, this is it. Well, that's it, everyone. I hope you learned something, that you have a couple more tools in your gardening toolbox that you can work with to support these wonderful plants and hopefully have great success with, because no garden should be without Delphiniums. Thanks for joining me, everyone. And until next time, bye-bye.